Ladies and gentlemen, this is breaking news. In this video, I'm going to tell you what Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin just said in regard to the Trump administration's and the Senate's support for individual bills such as the Ensuring Increased Disaster Loans for Small Businesses Act S.4227 that I spoke about on a previous video, more cash for more small businesses, direct payments through more rounds of stimulus checks, and unemployment insurance. First off, you see how all of these programs mandated by the CARES Act are expiring. For instance, July 11th, Javita Carranza, Small Business Administration Administrator, announced the conclusion of the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Advance Program. Advances were dispersed to 6 million businesses employing 30.5 million people, etc., etc. The looming expiration of the unemployment insurance benefits in days, that's the FPUC, the Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation, that's the $600 bonus that the federal government is funding for people on unemployment insurance, that's expiring. Jobless numbers just came out. Another week, 1.4 million people filing for jobless claims. There are 16.2 million people on unemployment insurance. So these people's incomes will essentially be cut in half for many of them. And this is in the middle, as I said before, repeatedly on previous videos, in the middle of the back-to-school shopping season. Secretary of Treasury Steve Mnuchin noted that all of these programs have worked. Just as Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell noted while he was testifying before the Senate Committee on Small Business Entrepreneurship and the House of Representatives Committee of Financial Services. He told them that all of these economic gains came due to more rounds of direct payments, through the rounds of direct payments mandated by the CARES Act and support for the unemployed, and he called for that. And all these globally renowned economists and scholars, Nobel Prize winners in economy, they've called for more stimulus to make up for the output gap that this country stands to encounter during the next 10 years. So everybody's calling for more. They're screaming for it. The economy's screaming for it. That said, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin stated that programs such as the extra funding for economic injury disaster loans and its advances through the Ensuring Increased Disaster Loans for Small Businesses Act S.4227 that I reported about earlier this week. They are coming, all these programs, they'll be mandated through individual bills. That said, this was a bipartisan bill. Senator Jackie Rosen and Senator John Cornyn from Texas both supported it. One's a Democrat, one's a Republican, so it's getting support from both sides of the aisle. And repeatedly, members of the administration have called for bipartisan support. They said that they would only get behind any bill or any proposal if it had bipartisan support. They want to get everybody on board. It makes them look good politically that they got everybody together, everybody on both sides of the aisle, and they actually did something for the American people. And it makes perfect sense. You need cash in order to get through this pandemic. Now, the one thing that he did note, nonetheless, in regards to economic injury disaster loan advances and in regards to more cash for small businesses, that they may start to look to ensure that the payments are targeted, or the second round of payments. I've talked about a second round of payments. So that's potentially why the bill is calling for, about 4 times of what the original funding for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Advance Program was. Congress appropriated $20 billion for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Advance with the first 2 bills, with the CARES Act and then the bill where they refunded the program with $10 billion. This is calling for $80 billion for economic injury disaster loan advances. And it calls for ordering the Small Business Administration to disperse the full $10,000 grants as per congressional intent. So they have to do it, and they have to do it within 3 days' time. And SBA will be prohibited from capping loans at $150,000. They'll have to disperse loans of up to $2 million. So they know that all of these upticks in the economy came due to this assistance. And again, He did note that potentially, so he talked about a second round. So we may be getting the advance, and he wants to get more cash to small businesses, perhaps through another round of economic injury disaster loan advances, or perhaps through some amendments to the Paycheck Protection Program loan. We'll see how that works, but that second round, he noted that it would be targeted towards businesses that have suffered a revenue loss of 50% or more. And of course, as Trump administration representatives have said in the past, they do support another round of direct payments or the second stimulus check, and they plan to modify the FPUC, the Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation Program, the $600 bonus that the federal government is funding by paying 70% of wages. So a 70% wage replacement. So basically you'll be making, through the unemployment insurance program, if you are on it, 70% of what you earned prior to you getting on unemployment insurance. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin also stated that the White House and the Senate are working on sending the next round of stimulus checks and the modified unemployment insurance benefit payments and more cash to small businesses through programs such as the Economic Injury Disaster Loan advances in August. So let me know what you think. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Watch this video right here for more stimulus coverage. Click the like button if you like the video. Click the subscribe button to stay on top of my findings. I will do my best to report what other people will not. And as I said before, I will stop at nothing. You see how we got Congress involved. We got the U.S. Senate Committee on Small Business Entrepreneurship getting back to us because of everything that we've said. Go ahead and keep calling your congressional representatives and let them know by visiting govtrack.us/govtrack.us/congress/members/map. Identify who's your congressional representatives and let them know that you need them to support S.4227 and to ensure that it's retroactive, that it pays people that have already received the grant previously the difference of what's remaining between what they received and the full $10,000 that Congress mandates that the SBA disperse to every eligible business. I thank you for watching. May God bless you. May God bless the United States of America and everybody else on this planet. Talk soon.